Hey there. Yeah, my voice is a little bit weird, probably a little bit like on helium because the guitar that I have right now is tuned down by a half step, so it's an E flat. Therefore, everything that I record will be pitch shifted up so that it matches the song. What song? Well, as you can see from the title, it's about. I mean, it's one of my favorite all-time favorite Bon Jovi songs. 99 in the Shade, which is unfortunately a very underrated and pretty much unknown song, pretty much because it only was released as a bonus track for some special editions of the New Jersey album. But regardless of that, the request that I have today is about one of my favorite parts in this favorite song of mine, which is inside the rhythm section. It's a very cool squeal, chain of. I mean, it's a chain of pinch harmonics. It's right. So one more time. So you can pretty much hear throughout the song that you have either two or three consecutive squeals right there. So and the third one is a little bit tricky because sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Richie is messing around with that part. I'll show you how it is. But be warned, you should know if you've been following my channel for no reason because, you should know that I haven't been playing since 2020. And not only was I not in a great shape back then, but now it's 4 years later, right? It's 2024, and my guitar is not really set up properly. It's a new guitar. I'll talk about it in the future. I wanted to start playing again, but I'm still not doing that. So it's still not properly set up. Anyhow, I'm way beyond rusty, so just be warned, okay? Now, let me first show you what that whole thing is about, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about it, okay? So, normally, that's kind of it, right? So, that's another variation that I actually like to do much more often. Pretty much that's the small lesson, if you will. But I would advise you not to close the video just yet. And let me explain how things go. So when you begin the song, you start off with this progression of normal power chords, right? It's full power chords, so it's and what I mean by full power chords is that, for example, this last one is comprised, obviously, out of a root, a fifth, and a an octave, right? So, but continuing off from this, if somehow your ear still thinks that it's hearing you wouldn't be wrong. The only thing is that you're not really hearing this power chord, you're hearing an inversion of it. And what does inversion mean in music theory? Well, I mean, explanation is much longer than this, and I'll give you just a very, very simple breakdown of it, which will be partly incorrect because of the things that I need to skip. But you are not starting traditionally with the root anymore. So if you know anything about how any, again, classical traditional chord is shaped, it's basically comprised out of the root, third, and fifth, and then it goes again with the octave, which is like a root, and then so on and so forth. So this time around, when we're doing this inversion, we're letting go of the root, the fundamental right here, and we're beginning with the fifth. So we're beginning with the second, what used to be the second note in the chord, and the second now becomes the first. The third note now becomes the second chord and the second note, and now we're adding a fourth note, which becomes the third. Pay attention to the fact that I'm saying note. It's not about the interval, right? So in terms of intervals, you're starting with the fifth going on to the octave, which can be considered, again, a root. And now you're adding on top of it the third, right? So in short, you're playing this banana-shaped bar chord, which is, and sound-wise, is not very different from you can still notice that you no longer have that bass coming from the root note, and it's a little bit higher in its harmonics, but fundamentally it is the same chord. Okay, so why do we switch from to? First of all, it cuts through the mix better, but that's not the main reason. The actual reason for doing this is the fact that you need to be playing this position in order to have your fingers ready for the cascade of things that will happen here, right? So I said I'll go back to what you asked me about, which was but I want to cover this small section right here, which is kind of like a chain of events, very similar. So it's kind of like right, so what happens is we have this, and then you go to, right, and then again. Now you have a cool slide with this chord shape. So, and now you have, so you're back with a reverse slide going upwards now. You're back to your position for the C chord right here, the C chord inversion, because this was the C chord, but you get the point. So you have this position initially, then you go, right, so it's a pull off on the B string from the 6th to the 5th fret, and then continuing on the G and D. With pinch harmonics, right? And then slide. Sorry. Now you have a very similar thing, but you go so you have this cool pedal tone going between the 3rd on the B and G to the 4th on the B to the 3rd on the B, back to the 3rd on the G. Reversing the whole slide section. And now a big wide vibrato as you're going from the 7th back to the 5th on the G string, and then kind of similar but from the 6th to the 5th on the B string. and that's a variation that you oftentimes hear. So usually what happens is sometimes you just have the first and the second, and then, or sometimes you have the first, second, and now it's kind of like a weird cadence where you kind of have like a, you have the first one again, but with a bit of a in the beginning, just to, you know, fit it within the remaining measure. Sorry. Something like that. Richie is oftentimes, you know, mixing them and altering them slightly from one version to another as you go through the first verse, then the second, and so on and so forth. So it's small variations here and there. Feel free to just play around with it and experiment. Usually, what I do is playing the one with a slide. For me, it sounds like it's fitting in a little bit better. But also, I'm every now and then I'm changing it just to add some variation, right? So this would be the thing that I talked about before, but the one that I do is, sorry, yeah, that now I forgot the one that I was doing. That's the one that I'm actually doing. So yeah. Sped up version, obviously, and then you have and my guitar just went out of tune, but I guess you got the idea by now. Like I said, sorry for the messy playing as always. This time around it's even worse, but thank you so much for getting me up my butt and getting my butt from the couch down into my my guitar chair. So yeah, outside is still snowing, so me and my lovely battery powered Christmas tree, miniature Christmas tree in the back, are saying bye for now. Thanks for watching, and let's hope I'll get to do that full cover lesson somewhere in the future. I already did the solo. I'll obviously redo the whole thing if I get to do it. But for now, if you haven't watched the solo or the tutorial for everyone else, please just go have a look. I hope this helped somehow, despite my completely out of shape. But I figured, hey, why keep you waiting until I get my act together, which might be not that soon. So let me know if it's now finally providing some new information, if it sheds some light, or if it's even more confusing because I don't know, playing it weirdly and I don't know, maybe even incorrectly to your ear. So feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. There's my rhythm for today. I'll go and say hey. Have no idea. Ciao! I guess I'll better leave before I turn into a complete freak show.